The Washington Capitals secured a huge 2 points this evening in Elmont at the expense of an Islanders team that entering tonight's matchup was on a hot streak, having won 4 out of their past 5 games. 5-1 was the final this evening from UBS Arena in favor of the Caps, with all 5 Washington goals being scored by 5 different players. New York struck first roughly 5 minutes into regulation, courtesy of a breakaway goal from Pierre Engvall, which was his first since joining the Islanders, and it electrified a nearly sold-out crowd at UBS, one of the larger attendances an Isles home game has seen this year. The New York faithful were humbled, however, quite quickly as Dylan Strome would send a rocket past Varlamov to tie the game at 1 roughly a minute later. Halfway through the first period, in a quick 1-1 tie, this game was looking to be a gritty one that could go either way. The remainder of the opening frame would see good defense on both ends and some great goalkeeping from Varlamov and Caps goalie Darcy Kemper. That trend would be broken very suddenly, however, as TJ Oshie would tip in a goal during the closing seconds of the period, which would put the Capitals up 2-1 at the first intermission. Both teams would go scoreless in the second period, and again, this appeared to be quite an even matchup. Despite the Isles struggling to generate any momentum moving the puck, it really showed as though the Isles were still in this one. Action resumed in the third period, and not action that the Isles faithful would be wanting to see. 3 unanswered goals from Washington would put this one farther and farther out of reach as the period progressed. Coach Lambert sounded off in the postgame presser, stating that the first goal of this period from Washington's Anthony Mantha was where he thought things took a turn for the worst.
Well, I think what really hurt us was, their power play goal. We were just down 1, and it kind of took a little bit of the wind out of our sails, and we make a couple of mistakes, and they end up in the back of our net. So, we just have to move forward and get ready for the next game.
This game was a mundane performance from the Islanders' offense for practically every angle you can imagine. They were outshot by the Caps, they recorded fewer hits, and they struggled to move the puck for a majority of the game. More importantly, however, the Islanders had 4 power play opportunities and came up empty-handed on each and every single one of them. This has been an issue that has plagued this New York team all season, and last night put the Islanders at 28th in the league in power play percentage, boasting an underwhelming 16.8%. Line changes were also an area of mystery for the Islanders, with the previously injured Cal Clutterbuck making his return to the ice for the first time since January 19th. Instead of returning to the known line of Clutterbuck, Casey Cizikas, and Matt Martin, Coach Lambert kept Cizikas and Martin with Hudson Fasching as the third line and Clutterbuck on the fourth line to start the game, though he would mix and match his lines throughout the loss. Coach Lambert noted during the postgame that they were really trying whatever they could against DC, citing that he didn't believe that what they first deployed was working for them.
Well, we're doing mixing because we weren't generating. We were looking for, again, it comes back to at times you have to look for a little bit of a spark somewhere and try and see which combination can get you going. So, in terms of what it was like with him back, it was fine.
All around, just a disappointing showing from the Islanders this evening, and on the contrary, a huge win for DC, who really needed this game to recover some lost ground in the hunt for a wild card spot. Indeed, a tough loss for the Islanders, but this game did come after a span of 4 wins out of their past 5 games and 7 out of their last 10. They will look to bounce back this week in the beginning of a 3-game West Coast road trip starting this Tuesday night when they take on the Los Angeles Kings at 10:30. Once again, the final score from this one was 5-1 Washington. For WFUV Sports, I'm Jack Warner.